Hello, fellow traders. 'Tis I, TheRumpledOne, coming to you on Tuesday, January the 21st, the year's 2021. Let's talk trading. Waiting. These videos are for educational purposes only. Your results may differ from mine. As always, have your risk management in place so you don't lose more than you're willing to lose on any one single trade. Waiting. I believe we've talked about waiting before, but it's something that some traders really struggle with, and sometimes I am one of those. And so the question is, what makes waiting so difficult, and how can I make waiting easier, or actually make it more pleasurable? In fact, there's a thread on one of the forums out there. They say, what music do you listen to when you trade? I usually don't have any music on. I just try not to, but sometimes I might have other tabs open, and maybe I might even be watching a video sometimes, but that's a whole different topic because that sometimes is a distraction or takes away the focus. And you know, there was that one video I used to watch about Evan Longoria, and his thing was be where you need to be when you need to be there. He's a baseball player. Because many times your attention wanders from the screen, and then you look back, it's like, oh, I missed that trade, dang it. I mean, how many times have you said that? And so what do you have to do so you can wait patiently and take advantage of it? You know, and I think one of the big things that causes us to not wait is when we see something on the chart and we want price to go a certain direction, and we just jump in. But that's not really what we're supposed to do. But we do it, and the question is why? And so it's probably a little fear of missing out, or sometimes maybe you're in a losing position, you want to add in so you can get out with a net gain, which is something I do. But what makes it so hard to sit on your hands for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15, 30, an hour to wait for your signal? And part of the reason is that maybe you've got a bunch of different methods in your brain. Maybe you have a bunch of different charts that you can look at. And so at any particular time, you could probably very easily find a reason to enter. And then you enter, and then price goes against you. So maybe one of the things you can do is find a reason to enter the other direction, but don't. In other words, you take your time and you go, okay, I want to go long, and here's a reason to go long. But now, where's the reasons to go short? What are they? Am I coming out of a wick zone to the downside? Was there a 3-ball on the previous candle? Does price action tell me something? Is it breaking a trend line? Is it breaking a previous low? Is it going across an open? You know, is it under indicator 2? Oh, there's so many reasons to look for a reason to go the other direction. You know, you're looking for a cover. So the question is, what makes you wait? Or what can you do to make waiting easier? You can literally sit on your hands. You could, you know, set an alarm on your watch or phone or whatever and leave the room and come back a certain amount of time later. Of course, you need to have your stop loss in place if you do that. You don't want price to take away your account. But you know, the hardest, I think, what really makes it hard to wait is the story you're telling yourself inside your head. And that gets down to the brain psychology. It's that fear of missing out. It's that the regret of getting out. You say, so what is it that makes it so difficult for you to wait? And you know, waiting isn't just about entering a trade. It's also about exiting a trade. I mean, you might want to grab those 2 quick pips, but you always kick yourself because after you take your 2, it runs for another 5 or 10 or 20. So, but you don't want to be too greedy. I mean, there's just so much going on in these stories. You're telling yourself the whole time. It's like right here. It's like we got a red M5, price is breaking the previous low, but it just pulled back up. It's below indicator 2. If you look on an M30, because I just looked, you know, you had I think there was 3 M30s in a row that were green. So it should at least cover, needs to cover, maybe come down to indicator 2. But, you know, you might have a couple of pips in your pocket. Do I take them now? Do I wait? It's a real dilemma sometimes. And then you look left, you see, okay, where's support, where was resistance, and all those things are conceptual in nature. You say, where did price crash through, where did it go? So I mean, if you're looking left here, it's like you see here, that's all white, that's all the buyers pushing price up. You have to look past it to see the sellers pushing it down. I mean, do you take the 2 pips? Do you take, or do you get out? Let's see, right now, actually, if you had taken that cross there, you'd be up about 5 pips. Do you take those 5 and be happy? You look up here, you can see it's moving back. On the 1 minute, I would put in a 2 ball. It's above indicator 2. But we've seen this before. It goes down a few, then it comes back up. And we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 bear candles in a row. Ooh, gap up. M30 is still red here. Big push back down. So maybe price will come down to this level. So you just have to wonder, Oh, look at that. Price came back up. So, you're watching the chart, you're talking to yourself in your head usually, not out loud, unless you're making a video. And so you're wondering, what do I do? Got an outside bar there. We're right at the daily midpoint, too. 58 from off the high, 58 off the low. You might want to switch over to a different chart to see what else is going on. You might change time frames. You might want to look at other indicators. And it looks like we got to the midpoint of the previous M30. Did we? Oh, almost. We're getting close to that level. Shift back here, you can see we put in the price is moving back up. We've got lower highs, lower lows. Now price just moved all the way back up there. So you have to remember the previous price action, it pushed down hard from that level. One ball over here. So what'll happen is sometimes you're sitting through all this and you want to take action. And then you start to have selective memory, and that's another thing that makes it hard to wait. You remember all the bad stuff that happened. You don't remember the good stuff. Walmart and I always joke, like whenever they steal a couple of points when we go to exit, it's like, oh man, they just stole a pip from me, or they just stole 7 points from me. As opposed to saying, very few times do we remember, oh, you know what, those guys just gave me an extra 2 points or 4 points. We don't remember those. So same thing looking at the price action. You remember the bad stuff, and that might cause you to act quicker. Or it might cause you to not act at all. But the thing is, the market doesn't care one way or the other. It just does what it does. And you sit here, you watch the screen, and you tell yourself stories the whole time. And I think we've talked about that storytelling before. But, whether it's support, resistance, and buyers and sellers, and supply, demand, and whatever indicator du jour you happen to be using. So the thing is, waiting is as easy or as difficult as you, the trader, make it. So you just have to keep that in mind. So, fellow traders, fastest 15 minutes in trading is just about over. That wasn't a long wait, now was it? So, as always remember, never forget, it's not what you trade, it's how you trade it. So go out there and drain the banks. This is the Rumpled One, over and out.